Hello everyone. Welcome back to another Commander review for Magic the Gathering. Today is the final Commander from the Future Sight set. It is the one, the only, Venser, Shaper Savant. And Venser is a legendary human wizard, power and toughness 2/2, and a mana value of 4, 2 generic and 2 blue. Venser has the flash keyword, which means you can cast the spell anytime you could cast an instant. So you can cast it on your opponent's end step just before your turn, which is great. Or you can cast it to do some fun shenanigans, as we're about to read. Venser has a triggered ability. When Venser, Shaper Savant, or as the errated text reads here, when Venser enters, return target spell or permanent to its owner's hand. So the fact that this has flash is awesome, because this essentially is a 4 mana, not counter spell. I can't remember it off the top of my head, but it's a bounce spell that you can bounce permanents or spells off the stack back to their opponent's hand. So this is a commander that you can have sitting in your board, or sitting in your command zone, and you could save it for that opportune moment to protect you from your game-winning combo or game-winning attack or something like that, right? Or this could sit in the command zone and you can use it to essentially bounce or counter, pseudo-counter, your opponents from going off and winning the game. Maybe you bounce their combo piece back to their hand for a turn, which will allow you to win the game on your next turn. Very, very powerful ability to be able to bounce not only permanents, but spells off of the stack, which is really cool. I don't remember, did I have multiple card rulings for this, or just Riptide Laboratory card to synergize with this commander? Very good. But back to the rules. A couple card rulings for this guy, so hopefully we'll get through this quick. If Venser's triggered ability targets a spell cast with flashback, the spell will be exiled instead of returning to its owner's hand. Oh, that is fascinating. That is fascinating. Interesting. So if you counter a flashback spell, it will go to exile and it will be countered permanently. That is interesting. I wonder why that works that way. Maybe that's just how flashback works in general. But very interesting. That will be something we cover in a different series where I talk about the rules of Magic the Gathering, which I'm working on. I'm going to get back to it. You may have seen the first video I ever did called Will of the Council. I'm going to be going back to that pretty soon here. And all of these fun mechanics we'll be getting into, the nitty-gritty of. Second ruling, if a spell is returned to its owner's hand, it's removed from the stack and thus will not resolve. The spell isn't countered, it just no longer exists. This works against a spell that can't be countered. And that rule right there is what makes this card so awesome. Because any spell that says this spell can't be countered can be taken care of with your commander. It is very awesome ability. Counter spells is a very effective and efficient way to interact with your opponent's board state and your opponent's spells. However, because Magic grows and grows and grows, we get more cards that say this spell can't be countered or your spells can't be countered. And so it's nice to have like a couple, 1 or 2 extra like silver bullets in those cases. And Venser is one of those silver bullets. It is absolutely insane. And it's not even the worst part about this commander. We're going to talk about that next slide with the laboratory. Third rule, if a copy of a spell is returned to its owner's hand, it's moved there, then it ceases to exist as a state-based action. It can't be recast. See, that right there, that was kind of my mindset with flashback spells as well. So that's why I kind of thought they all were, is they would all go back to the hand, right? But a copy of a spell makes sense because the copy doesn't physically exist. It's just a copy of the physical card that you are casting, right? So the copy of it will go back to your hand, but then it will fizzle because it doesn't exist. So that is interesting to read that the first rule does specify flashback, just sends it to exile. This obviously essentially does the same thing, but it does send the copy to your hand first. Fourth rule. 1, 2, 3, 4. I want to make sure I'm doing these correctly. If Venser's triggered ability targets a spell cast with flashback, that spell is exiled instead of returning to its owner's hand. Huh? Wait, what? Why is it reading the same? If Venser's triggered ability... That's so weird. Oh, okay. So for some reason, in 2017, when these rules first existed, it said that, and then in 2021 they resaid what the thing was. That's so weird. So the fourth and first rule are the exact same. It's just if you bounce a spell with if you target a spell with flashback, it goes to exile. That's weird that they printed that twice in 2017 and 2021. Let's see, 2021 second rule or fifth rule. Overall, if a spell is returned to its owner's hand, it's removed from the stack and will not resolve. The spell is encountered; it just no longer exists. This won't even. This works even against spells that. Well, yeah, this is just a repeat of everything. So I don't know why they repeated this, but in 2017 and 2021, the rules are just repeated. It's the same 6 rules, or it's the same 3 rules just repeated in 2021. That is very interesting. I wonder why that is. Yeah, because I can move my head to like read this last rule, but already I can see it's the exact same wording. That is odd. I wonder why they have that duplicated in 2017 and 2021, and there's no change in the words. Very interesting. Anyway, setting that strangeness aside, one of the things that we want to focus on is a lot of things with this rule and with what this commander does is this commander says that when Venser enters the battlefield, it targets a spell or permanent and bounces it to its owner's hand. So combo that with other bounce shenanigans or flicker shenanigans, like Riptide Laboratory, which can return a wizard you control to its owner's hand. This can make Venser... This is what makes Venser such a crazy commander, because yes, it's sitting in the command zone, yes, your opponents are aware of it, and that does kind of put a damper on the effectiveness of what Venser does. However, if you can bounce it to your hand and then immediately cast it again, or you can flicker it with an instant or sorcery, or with an instant spell to get its ETB again, you can do this a ton of times and constantly bounce things off your opponent's board, or constantly bounce spells back to their opponent's hands, or to their owner's hands. And it is extremely control meta of what this card does. It's so cool. So with that said, the deck idea that I thought would be fun to build around with this commander is a Flash Tribal deck. Now, I was looking around. I didn't perchance see Flash Tribal or Flash Matters commander for this deck, or for this commander online. Because if you wanted to build a Flash, like specifically the keyword Flash, you'd usually build that in like blue-black or blue-black-white. But mono-blue Flash Matters deck, where you want to cast things on your opponent's turn, and essentially every card in your hand is an instant. With the exception of obviously things that care about when you cast things on your opponent's turn, like the Wave Brave, Hippocamp. But aside from that, everything else has Flash. Your enchantments, your creatures, and then obviously your instants are at instant speed. Maybe some sorceries that can be cast at Flash for some reason would be awesome in here. So just Flash everything and take full control over the board and dominate your opponents. That's going to do it for this commander. Very iconic character, very iconic card throughout Magic's history, and again, extremely powerful because it can get around spells that can't be countered because it's not countering them, it just returns it to its owner's hand. So it can get around that, and it's easily repeatable in mono blue. Extremely easy to repeat this ability over and over and over and over again. It is absurd. So, with that said, there are a lot of deck ideas you can build around with this commander, and because of that, it has the rank of S. So very cool card, very powerful. I have done some crazy shenanigans of my own with this commander, mostly in the 99. But as a commander on its own, it can be extremely oppressive. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I could not do this without you guys. So, yeah. Seriously, thank you guys. I really do appreciate all of your support. All subscribers, hitting the bells, all the members of the channel. I could not do this without you guys. So thank you so much for everything. I can't wait to make some more videos for you guys. And I'm going to end this one here so I can quickly do the set review video, which will be coming out probably tomorrow. So thank you guys so much. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!